Hey guys, today we're talking about Exhalation by Ted Chiang. This is a book review. I don't know if you've heard of those. It's something I used to do. You might not remember my face. I'm James if you're new here. Hello. This is a short story collection by author Ted Chiang. Ted Chiang is probably most well known for writing short story, another short story collection called Stories of Your Life and Others, which one of those got adapted to the film Arrival, which was a very good film, top quality sci-fi cinema, directed by Denis Villeneuve, who is due to make a remake of Dune this year. I guess it's not really a remake of the David Lynch film. But anyway, I digress. Today we're talking about Exhalation, which is the second collected published short stories from Ted Chiang. As far as I can tell, basically what Ted Chiang does is write short stories over a period of years that get published elsewhere and then they get bound up. So this is the second collected works, I guess. All of the stories in this, it's tricky to review. I'm thinking about it now. It's tricky to review a short story collection in a succinct way without having to review each story individually. So really, I guess I'm just going to talk about overall impressions of what I liked about Ted Chiang's writing style and the way he presents a story, and probably some of the, I don't know, it's all in my head, let's just do it, eh? So all of the short stories are, technically speaking, science fiction, although not, some of them kind of aren't. Some have got magical realism elements, some of them are like a alternate history kind of thing, but I guess speculative fiction would be the more appropriate term for them. So if you're interested in that kind of genre, I would definitely recommend checking this out for reasons I'll explain now, basically. So what Ted Chiang does, and why I feel like the short story format works so well for him in particular, is that he is a very imaginative person. He creates these really interesting scenarios that examine like a theme or an idea in a straightforward way. He basically creates the perfect scenario as a thought experiment for a certain kind of idea, and it's really compelling to read. And because it's short fiction, it doesn't really overstay its welcome, and times where ideas, are more basic than other ideas. Like, he doesn't waste huge amounts of time on them. There's like a short story in here that's like 6 pages, and there's one that is basically novella length that's like 90 pages and so on. So he does vary it up in terms of the length of stories. I would say the sort of unifying theme of this collection is fate and destiny, I guess. Not so much destiny, but like the ultimate end point of the human existence and the way that it is sort of channeled along the way. There's a short story in here, like the big one, like Exhalation, the title story, is about this civilization that runs itself on argon gas, and it's basically about the inevitable demise of this society, due to like circumstances that they had potentially had some control over, but now have spiraled to a point where it's essentially impossible to reverse. And like things like that, I think people will be able to definitely draw parallels to events in our own world naturally. Like the whole global warming thing, which has been a thing for so long, but now people are finally starting to think, oh, maybe we should do something about that, eh? But it's like almost it's almost too late if it isn't already, to like actually do anything about it. So that's a really interesting idea. Like there's another story in here that is about like a device that will tell you, like it's like a toy that will light up a second before you push the button on it every single time. Like it unerringly predicts when you'll push the button, which like leads to this spiral in society of people like losing all hope in their existence because they now know that free will doesn't exist because they're always fated to push this button or not based on the light. Like it's really it's an interesting idea, and like it's approached in these really sort of off the wall ways, and I think it's a great thing that Chiang doesn't really like. He doesn't limit himself by a particular genre. Like he doesn't. It's not all space opera sci-fi. It's not all set in an alternate future. Like he mixes and matches different time periods. Like one of the stories is set in like a Victorian London type of deal. One of them is like in ancient Baghdad. Like it's so like time and place is not so much important. More of the themes that unify the stories. If I was gonna suggest any drawbacks, I would probably say that like the characters are not as strong as obviously you would get in a more established novel length thing, because he doesn't really take the time to flesh out all of the characters to make them hugely well-rounded people, but they are all like they're all like well written enough for what their purpose is in the story. Like obviously where works get longer, the characters become more developed. That's just natural. But I think he has a really good talent for portraying the most important parts of a character, to give them personality and likability, where you can kind of use your brain to fill in the blanks about what you think about these people based on their reactions to the scenarios that they're put into. So I guess if I was going to recommend this book, Exhalation by Ted Chiang, if I was going to recommend this book to anyone, I guess if you are a fan of short fiction, if you've read his other book, obviously, and liked it, that's a no-brainer. If you're a fan of sci-fi, then yeah, for sure. And if you're really into Black Mirror, like I personally am not. I don't like Black Mirror. I think it's a little bit too heavy-handed with its themes, and like it's a little bit too one note with its technology equals bad stance. So I don't really like Black Mirror, but I can definitely see what people would like. People that like Black Mirror will like this book. That's what I'm trying to say in a long way, whilst including my own thoughts on Black Mirror, because I'm an egomaniac. Right, so that's basically it. I don't need to really say much more. Exhalation by Ted Chiang. It's top quality sci-fi speculative fiction stuff, if you like that kind of thing. So check it out, and I'll see you probably soon. I've almost finished another book at last. I might actually do some content this year, wouldn't that be good? Next video will be a review of The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. So look out for that, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.